Greetings and thank you for taking a few minutes of your time to have a look at this video. My name's Rob Jowett. I've been running this company for a number of years now. The main issue we've got at the moment is obviously replacing clients, and I don't have any secrets about that. We're looking for new clients all the time. What we would normally do is we'd have a massive marketing campaign, an advertising campaign, and go and replenish people who've left for other companies, passed away unfortunately, other people move countries, some people make their money and retire. There's many reasons, and listen, if you work for a company or you're self-employed, you know how important it is to replenish your client database. Now, here's the situation we've got now. I would normally be feeding this particular opportunity into the financial sector. Other broker-dealers, other financial managers, other financial advisors, etc. Normally I'd be feeding this opportunity into them, and they would then rebroker it, resell it, or repackage it themselves. However, at the moment, we see such a good opportunity in this particular private equity deal we've got that I think it would be a perfect tool for us to bring in new clients to IPOdirect.com. So my company, IPOdirect.com, has been around for 11 years. We've recently registered in the UK and we're registered in 5 other countries. We've listed several companies on the stock exchange, and we've been instrumental in helping many people list their companies on the stock exchange. So if by way you are somebody thinking about listing a company on the stock exchange in any country, drop me a line. I'm sure we can help you. It's not an inexpensive operation, I can tell you now. So don't expect anything to be happening overnight. To list a company, it takes usually months or sometimes even a year or two, and the operating costs and the processing costs are quite considerable. However, this is good news if you're a private individual, if you're involved in agriculture, farming, fish farming, livestock feed, anything to do with the agriculture sector. We've recently signed a contract with a company called FABA, F-A-B-A, FABA Canada, and that contract gives us the 100% legal will to distribute their stock at exactly $1 Canadian per share, right? $1 Canadian per share. And if you've ever been to a barbecue, sat on an aeroplane next to a businessman or an entrepreneur and asked them how they made their money, you'll find a lot of people have made their money directly from private equity. Either they've listed a company on the stock exchange themselves, or they've had shares in a company they work for, which has listed on the stock exchange itself. Or, additionally, they could possibly be just starting to work for a company which has listed shares. Either way, becoming involved in private equity in that respect is a very lucrative way to create wealth. And I think it's important, and something well worth saying at the moment. I trade every day on the open markets, of course, because we all need to support our incomes. And when you look at what's happening in the stock markets right now, most people look at the NASDAQ or the S&P or the Dow in America, which are the biggest stock exchanges in the world. They look at them as the litmus test or the benchmark for how money can be made. And it is a roller coaster. I mean, if you haven't or don't trade, trust me, it is a roller coaster right now. The alternative intelligence sector has really taken foothold, but that's fizzling out very quickly. It's become an amazing firework for for creating wealth. Some of the stocks like Micron, Broadcom, there's several other companies who really flew. AMD is another one who had recently benefited, and the percentages were thousands over the last 2 or 3 years. Unbelievable. Nvidia is another one, of course. But look, that's starting to fizzle out now, and really for ecological reasons as much as economical reasons or geopolitical reasons. And one of the reasons is the data centers these are all providing, or supposed to be providing, memory for and chip memory for, these data centers are having a lot of difficulty getting parts to be built. In many parts of the world now, people, the public as well, have found their voice, and they're waking up to the fact that these data centers, as they're called, these enormous energy thirsty centers, I mean, they are absolutely like small towns, are draining water and electricity at an unprecedented rate, higher than even previously predicted. I know that we were just about to visit one of the data centers before the Iran war started, and the data I had on this particular data center was a small to medium size, and it was predicted to be using 250,000 litres of fresh water a day. All right, there's a silent there because I was stunned. I said, are you sure this isn't a month or a week? A day. They're diverting rivers. I mean, it's unbelievable, and especially in a time when I don't want to bleat about climate change, but there is change happening when it comes to water availability. Let's not say climate change is all to blame, but there is changes that are happening in the availability of the public to water, fresh water availability. The water tables are definitely in a state of transition, excuse me. And water is something we can't live without, obviously. But electricity is being used at such a high peak that that's the reason there's so much water being used to cool these data centers. Now, the irony of this is that there's diesel generators. I mean, this is where it gets crazy. Diesel generators are being used to power these places, and solar reflects the heat directly back to the sun. So all these solar panels and all these solar fields are actually not really doing a great favor for us, because they're reflecting the heat directly back into the atmosphere, which by turn makes everything even hotter. I mean, it's really, considering how far technologically we've gone, and we do have the answers to these things, it's really not a very satisfactory conclusion. Now, I see that there's a lot of greed. There must be a lot of brown envelopes being passed under the table for these data centers to be authorized. But my main discussion about this in terms of investment is that you need to be avoiding these very high-tech stocks at the moment. You need to be looking at other issues, and one of the main promotions I've got going at the moment is with Faber Canada, who have an amazing solution for what was the old soybean protein issue. It had a very bad taste, a bitterness about it, and there was all sorts of other issues with health side effects, etc. with soy, and they've developed the Faber bean and used two technologies only known to them. I don't believe they're patented, but they're not going to be released, and they said that if they patented them, then they'd be released, which is common sense actually, so they've kept them secret, a bit like Coca-Cola. But this Faber bean has got contracts which we've witnessed. There's contracts sitting out there now for $300 million a month. Let me repeat that, $300 million a month. The company's operating in profit now. I'd be delighted to send you an executive summary which shows you the up-to-date accounts. I'd be delighted to send you a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, and I'd be delighted to send you all the details of the company and the website too.